We ready? We ready? You ready? All right. Coming in 3, 2, 1. Backstage again at the Iowa City Jazz Festival, celebrating July 4th with some great high school ensembles to start the festival, as we do every year. We've heard from the United Jazz Ensemble, and again to get to the North Quarter All-Stars, directed by Dr. Steve Shanley of Coe College. Great to have you back again doing this thing, the thing.
It's good to be here. A fun tradition. I think last week maybe someone said to me, so what do you have going on over the weekend? And I mentioned, this and the municipal band, and then I'm playing in the festival tomorrow. And she was just sort of horrified at like that didn't sound like much of a holiday weekend.
Oh, no.
And I explained to her that for musicians, this time of year and Christmas, you just take all the gigs you can, because there's plenty of times the rest of the year where there's nothing going on. And that's when the musicians have their vacations.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But how many years is this now that you've done this for the North Quarter? Of course, we had they started with the United Jazz Ensemble, and shortly afterwards that give these other guys a chance, huh?
Yeah, I think the United group was going for a while before this started, and Brett Messenger had the idea to get this group started, like for the students in the Cedar Rapids, Cedar Falls area. And I think this would have been 2009, somewhere around there. So we're getting close to 20 years, but I don't think it's been 20 quite yet.
Yeah. For those not familiar with how these bands work out, how you pick the people, and you get the cream of the crop, obviously, because obviously you don't have many rehearsals to put these things together.
Yeah, those are excellent points to make. A lot of the groups that perform here are rehearsing quite regularly. They're professional musicians who have been doing this for many years, and the groups rehearse together. And the thing that I find so amazing about this group and the Iowa City group is it's the exact opposite. It's a much harder ask, I think, because the students in these bands have not been playing their instruments nearly as long, and the group that doesn't exist really until the week prior to the event, when we get together for some rehearsals. So it really speaks highly of these students, and you're going to see students from this band and from the United group as well. They'll be back here in a few years headlining their own groups. It's been happening now for decades, and you can see why. That, like you said, we've got the cream of the crop. So for the North Corridor Band, basically, after the All-State Jazz Band results come out, anyone who is kind of in this particular neck of the woods, the Cedar Rapids, Cedar Falls, I-380 North Corridor area, who was selected for that band, they get an invite. And then with the remaining spots that are open, we just kind of do that the best we can based on director nomination, or I might kind of know who the students are. And it's been a cool thing, because now we have students who will ask about this way in advance and plan their summer vacations around it, because they want to make sure they're in town
That's
and
cool.
able to participate in this particular event, and that's more important than their trip to Colorado or whatever. So pretty flattering. Yeah, usually people don't say no. They want to be a part of this group.
So do you collaborate with the other band directors then, get their input? Obviously, you've been directing this band, but there's other obviously directors involved somehow.
Yeah, especially when I'm trying to fill spots, and that's been really cool, because I might ask the Linmar band director, hey, do you have this particular instrument? And she might say, I don't, but there's a really good one of those instruments over at Kennedy or at Prairie. And so they all kind of know, and they do a nice job of helping me get all those spots filled. But for the most part, I'm spending, most of these bands come to our festival at Coe, and I'll see them at the Jazz Championships and things like that. So I'm pretty aware. Where they're helpful is I am not as into looking for cool repertoire as maybe I was when I was in my 20s and 30s. So where the band directors are very helpful for me is either I'll hear them programming cool new music with their group and I'll just steal it, or I'll ask them. I'll say, I'm looking for some new stuff. What do you like? And they'll give me some ideas. So they've all been really helpful in that regard too. Very supportive of this group and everything I'm trying to do.
So this is a big band. I know for a couple of years you had smaller groups performing, but now you're back to the big bands.
Yeah, I think it was the pandemic sort of forced us into doing some small group. And that year, when we did that, I think the stage crew, the sound crew, everybody was very excited about how much easier that was.
Sure.
And so we did that for a couple of years, and then last year decided to bring the big bands back, and it was a big hit. And the audience, the students, the directors, I think everyone said, if the stage crew and the sound crew and they're all willing to handle the headache of the full big band, there's nothing else quite like it. And also, especially since the majority of the programming at this festival, certainly all of the side stages and most of what happens on the main stage is small group jazz, this is an opportunity for some people to get to hear big band jazz that they maybe aren't for the rest of the weekend. So we decided to give that a go again this year, and yeah, it's been fun. So.
I'm always amazed at how, with just a couple of rehearsals, how tight the bands always sound, and that's obviously because they're such good players, and obviously how the directors are able to put these together.
Yeah, the band just got together for the first time on Tuesday. And yeah, we had a trumpet player who couldn't make that rehearsal. The two lead trumpet players, neither one of them, we have not had both of them here at the same time.
Oh.
So today will be the first time that the band is really playing in this current iteration. But yes, we got together for the first time Tuesday, and then rehearsed again on Thursday. And I had it scheduled from 6 o'clock till 8:30 both nights, and we did not need all that time.
Cool.
I said, hey, you all did your homework. There's no need to stick around just for this. So, and also I'm really excited because I'm looking at my notes here. 7, 8, 9, 10. We got, maybe 30, 40 solos today.
Wow.
Almost everyone in the band is going to take a solo at some point. So. That's always cool, too, when I ask for volunteers for solos, and everyone really wants to do it. And that speaks very highly of all the band directors around here, that they're creating a jazz band and a jazz culture where students understand that playing solos, improvising, being creative, that's an important part of the art form. So my hat's off to them. That isn't anything I'm doing to create. When they show up and they all want a solo, that's all been happening months and years before I get to see them.
So is it pretty evenly spread out between all the schools then, or is there one school that kind of stands out as far as the number of players they have?
I think this year, Linn-Mar maybe has a few more than everybody else. But what I'm particularly excited about this year is just the geographic spread. That we've got a student from Waverly Shell Rock on bass, who was actually part of the jazz camp when he was in middle school, Beckett, and then also a trombone player from Independence. And so that's been really nice to have when I kind of just look at the map and see that we have a pretty broad reach here, in addition to, it's not just the schools in the Cedar Rapids metro area.
So you mentioned finding charts. What charts are we going to hear today? Anything new that really going to blow us away?
Well, the one I'm most excited about is frequent jazz festival guest Matt Wilson had an album a couple years ago that he released, and there was a fun kind of Latin tune on there called RBG that he wrote for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And Ryan Arp at Liberty High School asked me to arrange that for big band, and I did that this year, and Ryan's band sounded great on it. And that's one of those charts that it doesn't just play itself. Some of the music you can hand out and it just kind of works. And this one, the tempo and the style and the way it all fits together is pretty difficult. But I thought, I'm going to hand it out. And worst case, if it doesn't go well at the rehearsal, we won't perform it.
Sure.
And I warned them. I said, you're going to need to put some work in on this one in advance for that to go together. And we read through it, and the rhythm section especially, they'd all done their homework. They sounded great on it. And I actually made a recording of the band reading through that to send to Matt, because I was just so impressed with these high school kids reading all of that difficult repertoire. So I'm excited about that one, and as far as I know, I think this will be the second band to perform this particular
You actually did that piece when he was here a couple of years ago, as I recall.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's also some vocal parts that
there are. We're not doing the vocal parts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of debated on that, and it's like, the music, the melody, all of that stands alone on its own.
Sure.
I don't need any band director, risking getting an angry letter from some parent if we invoke the text. So
there you go.
We'll just play the melodies and solos and call it good.
Good idea.
And so that's the one that I'm most excited about. That it's pretty challenging and it's new, and I got to arrange it, so I'm excited for that one.
You also mentioned you're doing the Cedar Rapids Municipal Band again this year. I'm sure you have a July 4th concert coming up today then, or
we have that. We have our concerts are typically on Wednesdays and Sundays.
Sure,
so we performed the first of our patriotic concerts on this past Wednesday at Guthridge Park in Hiawatha. And then we'll have a repeat of the concert tomorrow, Sunday, in Cedar Rapids at Beaver Park. So that'll be all the patriotic favorites. But what I'm particularly excited about is next week is July 8th, which is going to be the 250th anniversary of when the Declaration was actually read. The proclamation actually happened. It was read out loud. And so that is sort of a lesser-known anniversary that we're trying to draw more attention to this year. And all across the country, chapters of the Daughters of the American Revolution are going to be reading the Declaration of Independence on July 8th. Luckily, July 8th is a Wednesday for us.
Oh, nice.
And so we are going to, on both the Wednesday and the Sunday concert, we'll play the national anthem to start the concert, and then we'll have a reading of the Declaration of Independence. And on Wednesday, we're excited to welcome David Mayer in to read that, and then Dennis Green, who you might know, is going to be joining us on Sunday to read through it. So we're pretty excited about that, and then the entire rest of the program is dedicated to the Declaration of Independence and that particular time in America's history. So I thought, oh man, do we want to do like 2 weeks of patriotic stuff? And I thought, well, 250th birthdays, they don't come around very often.
That's right, exactly.
Probably no one's going to complain about that. So
was
yeah,
it like about 1,000 words
yes,
roughly?
I
Did
think
you time it out?
I asked Dennis if he would read it, and he said yes right on the spot. And then later I was talking to him. He's like, so I looked at that. That was just a little longer than. I said, yeah, it's going to take a good 8 to 10 minutes, but we got some nice music playing under you, so you can take breath for water or whatever whenever you need it, and it won't be awkward.
You guys got to play. There's a new kind of a new venue in town called the Kingston Yard. It's kind of a neat little performing space. You guys got to play there. I think your co-band did too there.
Yep,
some months ago.
It's been a wonderful space to play. The stage, admittedly, I wish they would have maybe asked someone before they built it about dimensions and things like that, because there is a stage there, but it's kind of a
small
kind of an awkward
stage.
size. Yeah, it would be fine for a small group for sure. But we have figured out a way to make it work. The municipal band puts the percussion up on the stage, and the rest of the woodwinds and brass are down in the grass in front of the stage. And it's just been so picturesque. We've had so many nice performances there already this summer, and we're looking forward to that becoming maybe a Wednesday tradition in the summers, that we're parked there and you can come down and play some pickleball. You can play pickleball and listen to us, or there's also the grass itself. If you sit there, it's pretty far away from what's happening at Big Grove and the Pickle Palace, and you can get you can listen to the concert and you're not hearing all the racket, so to speak. So that's been a great venue. If anyone hasn't come to check us out there, I highly recommend that. It's a great new thing that they have brought to our city, and it's been great, especially I think for the arts.
You mentioned the Co-Jazz get-together. You have your special guest picked out yet for next year?
Yes, I'm excited. I've at some point, I'm realizing that I probably have more Co-Jazz Summits in my past than I do in my future. And so I'm thinking, all right, I really picked the artists carefully, and especially thinking about bringing some of my favorites back. And one of those is Gerard Harris, who is at Purdue University, lives in Chicago. He taught at Northwestern. Wonderful saxophone player and just a great teacher and super fun to hang out with. So excited to bring Gerard back. And then also coming back is Laura Caviani, who's a piano player from the Twin Cities.
Yes.
She has judged the festival before, but we've never been able to work it, so she plays on the concert, and so I'm excited to feature her on piano with the concert as well, which will time out quite well because our excellent piano player, Chase Beatler, will be in New York for the spring term.
Oh.
So it will be nice that she can kind of step in for him while he's on his studying I guess not abroad, domestically.
There you go.
Over in New York. So looking forward to welcoming Gerard and Laura in for our Jazz Summit in February.
Great. Sounds great. And amongst all that, you mentioned you're playing here with somebody this weekend, right?
Yep. Jim Dreyer has a little a small Latin jazz group that he calls Ritmo Quinto.
An offshoot of Ritmo Cano.
Offshoot of that,
yeah.
Yep. So we're playing on the side stage at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Very excited to play along with Jim. Always been a big influence of mine and one of my favorite people to play with. So I always say yes to that when the opportunity comes up.
Anything else you got coming up that we should know about, or I guess that's probably plenty?
That's plenty. And then the following week, so I get a week where I get to kind of try and get caught up on all of my marching band and show choir arranging, and then it's teaching the middle school jazz camp.
Ah, yes.
So
how could I forget?
I'm very excited about that. That's always a great kind of recharge for me, working with students that age, and my wife does a great job organizing the whole thing, so I love it. And it's a good way for me to remember, oh yeah, this type of concept is a little bit harder than I thought, or I need to think of a different way to. It makes me a better teacher. So looking forward to that as well.
And that's in just a couple weeks there at Kirkwood that
Yep.
we have every year. So.
Yep, and it's full. I would be advertising it, but if you're listening and you want your middle schooler to get there and you haven't signed up yet, I'm sorry, it's too late. So
we warned you. We test.
That's another one that fills very quickly every year. It's become a real popular
exciting.
thing with
that's
a lot
great.
of credit to Dennis and Val for what they have done
Sure.
the last 10 years or so to really make that a thing.
Well, Dr. Shanley, it's been great to have you always take a few minutes out and chat about all your activities, and it's just great to have you around here. All the stuff that you do, the arranging, the composing, the directing, the teaching, you do it all, and hopefully you can stick around. I don't know when you're retiring, but that'll be a sad day, my friend.
Well, thank you, and I don't say this lightly. I don't think most of this would be happening without KCCK and you guys either. The fact that you are playing great music for our students to listen to, but then also your involvement here at the Jazz Festival, and then all the educational outreach with the camp and the Corridor Jazz Project. It all it's one circle, and we all just kind of feed one another, and KCCK, and you are certainly an important part of that circle as well.
Thank you. Steve Shanley, getting ready with the North Quarter All-Stars here at the Iowa City Jazz Festival.